everyone, and welcome back to another Motogp 24 video. Now, in my time in live GP and online, the thing I've seen people struggle with most is riding in the rain. It is tricky on this year's game, but the real issue is the way people ride in the dry and then they try to ride like that in the wet, and just small errors are making. There's one glaringly bad thing you cannot do in the rain while riding that people are probably over abusing in the dry, and then the crossover point is just a bit extreme. In today's video we're going to break down some clips of what you're supposed to do and what not supposed to do, because I've seen people complain that you can't trail brake and all sorts of things in the rain, which are false. In today's video we're going to try and prove wrong. But anyway, let's jump over to the clips. Just quickly guys, if you do enjoy today's video, if you wouldn't mind, let me know with either a like or a comment, and maybe even consider subscribing for future videos. Thanks, back to the video. So we're going to start off by just talking a little bit about the rain before we get into the individual clips. Now, in the rain you need to be a bit more smooth. Now, I understand for a lot of people that's quite tricky, but the biggest issue in the rain is people entering the corner with the bike moving. When the bike is moving in the rain, you just don't have the overall grip for the bike to kind of regain traction and stay upright. So you jump into any lobby, you see people come into the corners and they don't even get their knee down and they're on the ground, and it's a combination of basically over aggression on corner entry. You can brake quite hard. Again, you see my controller overlay is on screen, and the first few clips will show how late and hard you can brake and use the front tire. The rear tire and the rear brake is a bit of an interesting one. I don't use rear brake pretty much at all in the wet. What happens in the dry, you use the rear brake, the rear moves, but instantly nearly regrips and it turns the bike. In the wet, what it does is just starts to slide and takes weight off the front and moves around. So personally for me, I don't use it. I also use a real low traction. I feel like the TC can be very aggressive in the wet, and even running traction 1 or 2 is really viable. I usually stick to 2, but 1 also if you are on a certain type of track that you need kind of an extra bit of something from the rear. 1 can play. I also like extra bit of engine braking. This is the same as the dry, but just in the wet. It just takes a bit more stopping power back to the bike, and it just makes overall easier to ride. But the big thing for me is get out of the habit of using the rear brake. The rear brake, you'll see in some of the clips in a minute, is the bike just moving around, starts doing all sorts of things underneath you. And again, the kind of whole topic of today's video is just when the bike starts to move around, you're going to crash in the way. You don't have that time to save it like you would in the dry. But yeah, they're the main things we're going to focus on. We're going to jump into the first clips now, and you'll see how you can actually brake hard. So we're coming down very fast in the drying track, in still a wet phase. You can see I'm hard on the brake the whole way through the corner. Now I'm leaning in fair, but I'm nearly full on the brake and the front hasn't gone. Now the main reason that has happened, as you'll see again in this clip, is that the bike isn't fishtailing. I'm not backing it in, I'm not aggressive on the downshifts, I'm not getting a handful of rear brake. Again, you can just see trail brake. Now again, in this corner you want to get off the brake and to slow a bit earlier to flow through. Again, last clip down into Vale here. Bike's had a little moment there over the crest, but straight out we get nice settled, we get down the gears, and I'm nearly full brake in the rain at lean. Now again, I would recommend always running soft tires in the rain. It's almost impossible to run the mediums. We're going to see our first crash here, and you'll see in a second as we rewind it what exactly happened. So basically the shift in the bike here, so just there, and then when the bike unloads it just goes. The tires do not save you in the wet. It's just a small little unloading just there, gone, and it goes. It happens so much. Again, you'll probably see it in this clip here. So the rear end is stepping out small, but I've made a small adjustment and I'm down. Just wanted to pick the bike up to adjust my line and I'm down. You just cannot get away with it. And in the final clip here, again into this little corner, we're using a lot of rear brake. This bike has snapped sideways and instantly the front's gone. It's absolutely instant, and that is the key to the rain. It's just being smoother, taking that bit of the edge off, using less rear brake, using the right tire compounds, getting your ECU set up right, and that is the key to it. Now of course riding smooth and all this will help as well, but just remember, don't be aggressive on corner entry. When the bike is moving, you're going to crash. Get rid of the rear brake by all means in the wet, and that is the key really to riding the rain. Every crash I see in every lobby online, it's corner entry. People are okay with the back end moving around, but for some reason it's just on the corner entry. So again, to recap, be careful on corner entry. You can use a lot of front brake, but you can't use a lot of rear brake. Don't want the bike sliding or bucking or bronking. That is the wrong way to go about it. And yeah, they are the main things to improve in the rain. If you can kind of master these few things, getting the bikes nice and planted on corner entry, you'll have a much better time in the wet weather, and you'll be soon winning races like Christopher Vermeulen. Now we're going to leave it there. I hope you have enjoyed. Again, a shorter video as always for me. I like to get as much information into these videos in a short time, just to get the information out there. So I hope you have enjoyed today's video. If you did, drop a like, subscribe for all that good stuff, and I will see you in a future video on Motogp 24. Thanks for watching. Slán go fóill.